This video is presented by Eyelet.
Okay, we're going to install the sewn ring. And what I like to do here is I like to have a rounded off corner, so I just kind of give it about a quarter-inch or so space to have a nice corner, and you come up about a quarter-inch in from the edge, 3/16, quarter-inch. Then you want to draw an inner circle and a little bit smaller than the inner diameter of the ring, so you just hold your pencil at an angle like this and angle it in, because this will give it room for the threads to be in there. And then we also want to draw around the outer side and hold your pencil straight up and down for this, which will make it about a little bit bigger than the outer part of the ring.
Next, we'll be punching a hole. You could use a razor blade if you don't have a hole cutter.
Yeah, I just grabbed a hole cutter off the shelf. It's not quite the right size, but it's a little bit smaller, and that's all I'm worried about. So I'm going to just match up the outer edge and just cut around the outer edge.
If you're using a razor blade, create an X in the hole, then cut off the four corners of the X with the razor blade. You can see here that Jeff is using a hole cutter that's a little bit small, and is just offsetting it and cutting off the portions that still need to be removed.
Once the hole's cut, you want to go, and you can check the hole, make sure this ring fits through it. It shouldn't be super tight, or the eyelet I should say. Then we want to go mark. I like to pre-mark this so I can put holes. Use a scratch awl and I'll put holes. You could use like a sharpened ice pick or something to pre-punch your holes. It'll make the hand sewing a lot easier. But you mark about every 1/8 inch or a hair less than an 1/8 inch. And you just put marks on here.
Jeff's going to use an awl to pre-punch the holes. By pre-punching holes like this all around the perimeter, you'll find it much easier to sew the ring in place with the pre-waxed twine. If you order a finish sale from our loft, we would use the Ruckinson ring. Jeff's going to explain it here.
That's what all these holes go for. It's just like the teeth on this ring. This is a hydraulic pressed ring, and we're going to be doing a hand sewn ring, but the strength comes from the penetrations and the grip of the fabric, so it loads up on the patches correctly. But that's what we're doing, just mimicking the hydraulic ring, just we can do it without hydraulics.
Installing a Ruckinson ring like this takes a hydraulic press and special dies, so we're going to do the sewn-in ring and the eyelet. The eyelet will still require a die set, but it's not nearly as expensive. Jeff is using the pre-waxed twine and a hand needle, and then penetrates one of the holes. Doesn't matter which one he starts with.
I don't really need the ring at this point. I just want to make sure I have enough twine. Last thing you want to really have to do is start halfway through it, the new set of waxed twine, because you didn't leave enough on here. You want to leave some waxed twine, a waxed twine tail. You can leave it at about 3/4 of an inch. This is a little bit long, but a little bit less. Somewhere around 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And what that will do when we come around, it will we'll loop that underneath the other stitch, and we'll get something that holds fast. Going. Let's come and find our other little hole. Let's go right there. Again, I'm not really pulling that tight just at the moment, just so I can get another stitch in here to make sure I don't pull the tail through. And this will start to hold. You can see it grip in that. Now we can start to pull a little bit tighter as we go. Penetrate and get it through. Oh, sorry. You can use a pair of pliers if you need a needle nose. Usually works well to grip it and pull. You want the ring to sit up on there. Should have been watching that, but that allows a little bit of correction here. Want the ring to sit there, and we're going to be pulling the fabric really tight right around it. So if you get where you push the ring down by forcing it, you just pull on this while you're moving the ring, and you can reposition it. Now once we get a little bit further, you won't be able to do much of that at all because it will be tight. I was just adding the finishing touches to the sail. A little drop of blood here. I always want to bleed on your sail because it shows that you really care about your project.
Jeff is obviously joking here, but sometimes it can't be avoided. Notice he's also using needle nose pliers to help.
I just go like, get it and make sure it's in there, not in here. It could slip and just. Oops. Go the right way. Let's go through here. Make sure you keep the knots kind of clear from the bottom, and as you went around the whole thing it gets kind of twisted, so sometimes if you're trying to pull through and nothing's getting tight on this side and it's staying loose, it's usually because you have it twisted up like this and that is pulled right into the hole and it won't go through. So make sure you untwist it, then it will pull tight.
This ring is now sewn in place. We just need to bury our tail.
We're just going to bury the tail. This is always a bit tricky. Again, the key with the hand needles is not to try and push it through so fast. Just put pressure and let it work, and it will go through. Pull it tight. Okay, now that we got the ring sewn in, we want to take our eyelet, which will protect the sewn ring and the hand stitching from the chafe of a line or a shackle. And we're going to come in, put the eyelet up through, in this case, the bottom, or the ring was sitting on the opposite side of the sail, sitting up here. And just put that down on here, on the die set. And you get that settled. Now I place an extra ring on here, and this just helps the base of the eyelet get set before the top starts to flare, and it will seat the ring much better and make a much smoother set. So you just, with the two rings in place, we're not going to set and keep it there, but we want to hit it twice. We want to pop that ring off.
When using die sets, it's a good idea to do it on a hard surface. You see that steel pad? If you don't have that, do it on a cement surface. Very important to use a dead blow mallet. If you don't have a dead blow mallet, it won't work well.
And you don't have to get these too closed. Probably what I would say is some of the common mistakes is oversetting the rings. So you just want to close it down. Better to hit it a few times, maybe 5 or 6 times, a little bit lighter, and having to keep check than to hit it way too hard like a couple times and then blow apart your stitching, because then you just start over. And you have to get a couple eyelets from us to start again. And that's kind of a pain after you spend a nice work to make a nice hand-stitched ring, to just destroy it by hitting the mallet too hard. And you can do this with a hot knife or a blowtorch and a butter knife, but I'm going to just cut that little circle because I don't like that point sitting there. It just doesn't hurt anything, but it just doesn't look good.
Smaller sails do not require these sew-in ring and eyelets. They just require a spur grommet. You would obviously put one of these sew-in ring and eyelets in larger sails at each corner and reef points.
That's all set.